Hey kitchen people, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alyssa. I am the owner and creator of the Floral Apron blog, and this is the first video in my new series called Everything in My Kitchen, where I will talk about everything in my kitchen and what has and hasn't worked for us. Spoiler alert, there's not much that hasn't worked for us except for the first 3 fridges that we ordered, but that's a story for another day. If you have any ideas for future videos that you would like to know something about my kitchen in or out, let me know in the comments below. I would love to continue adding to this periodically throughout the year, or longer, depending on how many topics you can think of, and I would love your ideas. This video is going to talk about one of my absolute kitchen favorites, which is the Quartz countertops. I absolutely love the counters in my kitchen. This was a huge upgrade for my husband and I when we moved into the house last spring because we both have only ever had tile counters. There is more in my introduction video about the start of my blog and building our new home. I have linked that video in the description in case you're interested. I knew that as a baker, I wanted a solid stone, and we did a lot of research into figuring out which stone would be best for all of the use that it would get. Quartz came out by far on top, and I highly recommend it to anyone who is looking to remodel their kitchen or is building a new home. I have all of this information laid out on my blog in an article linked below in case you want to refer back to it, and in no particular order, here are 7 reasons why quartz is the best for home bakers. Reason number 1, quartz is just gorgeous. Quartz is man-made, so pretty much any look is possible. I have seen quartz that looks like marble, that looks like soapstone, that looks like terrazzo, that looks like granite. There are really endless possibilities, and you can find a quartz that will suit your needs pretty much guaranteed. Quartz also has a very subtle shine, which emphasizes the quality of the stone in any sort of food photography. As a food photographer, recipe developer, food blogger, whatever you want to call me, I always use my countertop as my backdrop along with my backsplash because I love the way that it looks. It looks real and not like a backdrop like some lower quality backdrops out there, and I have never been more pleased with my photos. Reason number 2, it's a flat surface. I grew up with tile countertops, as did my husband, and our first rental also had tile countertops, so any sort of flat, solid surface that I can work on is a dream. I love not having to get a cutting board out to make sure that I can roll out a pie crust or cookie dough and then rolling it out too far and having to transfer it or have it fall off the edge. Having it just be a flat, smooth surface is so much easier for a lot of baking prep. I also really appreciate that because quartz is a solid stone, it conducts heat really well, and so I can put a frozen ice pack on my counters if I am rolling out pie crust on a hot day, and it keeps my pie crust from melting into the counters like it would with a tile countertop or a warm cutting board. Reason number 3, quartz is low maintenance. Quartz is really easy to take care of and keep looking clean without hardly any extra effort. The only preventative maintenance I have had to do is put a hot pad in between a hot pan and the countertops. Other than that, I wipe it down daily with a cleaner, and that's about it, just to keep my counters looking as good as they did when I moved in 9 months ago. Reason number 4, quartz is hard to stain. Quartz does not stain easily. It has a very low porosity, which means it's very difficult for liquids to permeate into the stone, which is very different from marble or granite. I typically wipe things up immediately when I see them, but I have had hidden splashes of pomegranate juice or marinara sauce, and I've wiped them up a day or 2 later with no stain to be found. If something does stain, I have found that just letting your regular cleaner sit on it for 15 minutes and then scrubbing with a soft scrub sponge will usually do the trick. If it's something more serious like paint or super glue, you can use a razor to scrape off any remaining residue and then use a light and sparing amount of acetone to wipe across the surface. That will get rid of the discoloration, but it is a little bit dicey, so I would consult other videos on how to do that properly. Reason number 5, no sealing is required. Like I said before, quartz has low porosity. It's manufactured from quartz sand and polyresin mixed together at high temperatures to form one slab of stone. Because of the low porosity, there is no sealing required. It is very difficult for liquids to permeate into the stone, therefore making it hard to stain. Marble and granite, on the other hand, have a higher porosity, and that is why you need to seal them to prevent liquids from permeating into them. Quartz does not need that seal, so you have the full range of your kitchen forever because you don't have to worry about sealing the counters once a year or every couple months depending on the type of stone, and you don't have any extra chemicals from that sealing on your workspace. Reason number 6, quartz is eco-friendly and economical. Quartz sand is usually made of reclaimed byproducts of quartz that have been found in other mining ventures. My understanding is that people will go in to find another stone, they'll find quartz along the way, and they will collect that and sell it, but they're not looking for it specifically. So that means you can get quartz at a really good price. It's comparable in price to granite and marble, and because of the way that it's mined and created by hand, you can actually recycle your quartz for future use in somebody else's countertops. Reason number 7, quartz holds up well to damage. In 9 months of heavy use from a home baker, these countertops look practically no different from the day that we moved in. There are a few light scratches on the surface that if we were really concerned about them, we could take them out, but you can't even feel them with a fingernail, so you could polish them right off. Maybe we'll do that down the line, but right now there's absolutely no need. We also have a couple of chips from, well, there was a Pyrex that was really hot. I dropped it onto a plate and the plate broke, but I was okay, but it did a little tiny chip. That is imperceptible. I can only find it because I am looking for it. If my lack of spatial awareness can make these countertops still look as good as they are now, they are perfect for anybody. Quartz care tips. In my 9 months of having quartz countertops, I have learned that there are a few tips and tricks to keeping my quartz countertops looking as good as the day that they were installed. So much so that I still have service people coming in and complimenting our counters and our backsplash because it all just looks as good in real life as it does, if not better, on your screen right now. My number 1 tip is to wipe spills up as soon as you see them. That is also the thing that is recommended on any sort of quartz care website or article you'll read online. I have found that there are 3 things that will stain my countertops more than anything else. Vanilla extract, citrus zest, and carrot peels are those 3. I don't know why. I don't have a problem with hardly any other food item. I have had marinara sauce, pomegranate juice, orange juice, lemon juice, and none of those things have been problems, but for some reason the alcohol and vanilla extract, and I believe the essential oil that is in citrus zest, and I don't know what the heck is in carrot peel, but whatever it is, those tend to stain my countertops more prominently than anything else. So if I am working with those 3 items, I make sure that I wipe the counters down before anything has the chance to dry. Otherwise, I'm going to have to let my cleaner sit on it for 15 minutes and potentially scrub depending on how dry the material is. My second tip for keeping these counters looking new is to invest in some sort of degreasing cleaning agent. A lot of people use dish soap like Dawn. I also use an industrial strength degreaser that is safe for my quartz countertops because I have smudges all over the place when I am working with pie crust or other sorts of pastry dough, and I don't like the smudges. So having an industrial strength degreaser that is diluted quite heavily really helps keep the countertops smudge free and shiny. My final care tip is to pamper your quartz at least once a month. I like to spray all of my counters down about once a month with a Clean and Shine polishing spray that is made specifically for quartz, granite, and marble. It works really well to keep my counters looking shiny, and it makes them really soft afterwards for reasons I don't understand, but I know are helping the stone stay durable. This is the one that I use from Granite Gold. It's not sponsored in any way, but Granite Gold, if you see this, feel free to send me an email. If you are looking to upgrade your countertop soon, this is Arizona Tiles Della Quartz in Crisp Stria. I absolutely love the way that they turned out, and it has just enough of a marble feel without any of the extra upkeep. The counters have been a dream to bake on, and I highly recommend them for anyone looking into it. If there's anything else you would love to see in my kitchen, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!